Hello everyone, R1 here. This is just going to be a quick, I guess you could call it a weekend update. I don't know if that's what I'm going to call this little mini-series that will come out periodically. I just wanted to keep you updated on things that are occurring in the channel. Perhaps I'll call it the wit and wisdom of Ranger 1 and give you all something to laugh at. The first point I want to address is I've seen a large jump in my subscriber count. And I want to thank all of you that have stuck with me for a while, and I want to thank all of you new fellas that have just decided to subscribe. It's very much appreciated. I also want to give a big shout out to Digital Digging, who has an excellent site by that name, an excellent channel on YouTube, and it has some of the better content that I've seen out there, quite frankly. And he mentioned me and kind of gave me a shout out in his comment section, and directly after that I had a ton of new subscriptions come in, and I'm sure he's directly responsible. So thank you very much. You'll find a link to his channel in the featured channels sidebar on the side of my channel page, and if you folks haven't checked out Digital Digging, please take a look. It's some of the better content out there. The second point that I want to address, I've had several people asking me when I'm going to do some EVE Online content again. My original thinking was that since the creators of EVE Online, Crowd Control Productions, or CCP as they're known as, they've gone to a very rapid release schedule starting just recently. They're going to come out with 10 updates a year, roughly every 6 weeks, which is a very rapid pace for any developer. And I thought that that was going to provide me with an awful lot of content that I could cover. And that's primarily what I still intend to do. This last release that came out, Cryas, was entirely dedicated to revamping their industrial interface, though. And while I, as an industrialist, as one of my main occupations in EVE, value that tremendously, and I'm still wrapping my head around it, it would make for the most boring video imaginable. I refuse to subject you to that. Watching me tinker around and build things. Not going to do that. Not going to go there. So for a little while, there's not going to be much in the way of EVE content. They have just come out with that update and have yet to release any information at all about what the next content release is going to be on their part. And if it's nothing exciting to watch, then we probably won't see much of anything of it. I'm considering diving back into the deep waters of EVE again, though. It's been a while since I ran in any of the bigger social groups there and was involved in any major wars. Maybe I'm a little bit overdue on that. I may devote some time to reestablishing old contacts and get involved in that aspect of it again. For the time being, I have just been building up my assets. For those of you who are not familiar with EVE, in EVE Online, if you lose a ship, if you get blown up, if you foolishly put all of your eggs in one basket and somebody scans you, finds out what you've got, blows you up, and takes whatever falls out, it's gone. If you can't afford to replace it, that's your tough luck. You start from scratch. So the catchphrase in EVE, one of the many catchphrases in EVE, is don't fly what you can't afford to lose. So I have characters that are devoted to nothing but industry in EVE. And then I have other characters that have pursued a wide variety of careers. Everything from piracy to, for a time, I was a mover and shaker in some of the nullsec alliances out there. And that's quite a heady feeling, having a few thousand people that are waiting for orders from you. It's something you just don't get in any other game. You see, EVE Online is unique in a number of ways, but one of the most fascinating aspects of it, when I was on filming this little bit for this video, there were roughly 30,000 people online. That's not 30,000 people spread across 4 different servers, playing a number of different game modes and individual matches. That's 30,000 people that I could reach out to and contact myself at that point in time on one server, in one instance, if you will, in the same world, that can freely interact with each other, whether that interaction takes the form of communication or undercutting them on the universal market, or tracking them down and shooting them in the face. It doesn't matter. They're in the same game world you're in simultaneously. The only thing that separates the population is what time zone you happen to be awake to play EVE in. And I guess it goes without saying that if something important is going on, 2 o'clock wake-up calls are not that uncommon to get your butt out of bed and come help. That doesn't happen all the time. And usually the larger power groups in EVE have enough people that they can cover all their time zones without worrying about that. But still, EVE Online is a very unique game. There is nothing else remotely like it in the gaming market. If you want to be a real villain and infiltrate a corp over a period of months or years just to steal everything that they have, you can do it, as I'm sure you've seen in the gaming magazines or read in the newspaper or heard on the BBC. Then again, what you don't hear is that if you are the type of player that wants to take a stand against that, are well prepared to take care of yourself, perhaps you're motivated to protect others, the game also allows you to do that on your own. The game mechanics don't interfere either way. It's just not something you have to deal with in a game like War Thunder. The game mechanics protect you. You don't have to protect yourself. When you look at that hangar full of tanks and airplanes, or your wallet full of Silver Lions and Gold Eagles, that's safe. You don't have to worry about keeping your wits about you, exercising good judgment, and having to protect yourself and your assets. So yeah, EVE is a little hardcore. And it doesn't hurt that when you get into a battle in EVE, it can be anything from a 1 versus 1 to a couple of thousand versus a couple of thousand. All in the same battle. But enough about EVE. Most of you guys are interested in War Thunder, and that's what I'm going to focus on for the foreseeable future. Next week, I should have some interesting footage for you. We're going to do something a little bit different. I'm going to target a specific type of tank to go after. We're going to go on a Russian light tank hunt because, well, they're a big pain in the butt, and I quite enjoy blowing them up. So that's going to be the next video out. The video schedule is going to primarily, I think, boil down to I'm going to release on Tuesdays and Fridays for a while, maybe with a weekend update if I can squeak it in, if there's anything worth talking about. And that way there'll be some regularity to it. Now, if I can push out more good content in a more timely fashion and put out 3 releases a week or more, full content, then I'll do so. But I work a full-time job, and I've got a family as well that takes up a lot of my time. Children just seem to have a knack for that. And that's my priority. But I do enjoy this, so I'll get out as much content to you as I possibly can. I just realized I also intended to give a shout out to Hanner, who has an excellent site here on YouTube as well. He focuses, at least in the videos that I've managed to watch so far, on jet combat and tactics, as well as some interesting insights into the history of jet combat. So if you have time, look him up in the sidebar on my site for featured channels. He's well worth listening to, and his videos are very informative. Well, boys and girls, I hope your weekend was a good one, and I hope your re-entry into the work week is a smooth one. I'll leave it at that for now. Take care of yourself. And until I see you again on Tuesday, good hunting.